Human males commit adultery because selection is favored, essentially a strategy whereby males obtain as many mates as possible. Males increase their fitness in terms of genetic representation in subsequent generations by getting as many copies of their genes out there as possible. In an evolutionary sense, if we look at the very definition of what it is to be male and female, the definition relies on differences in gamete size, what's called an esogamy. So males produce many small, energetically poor gametes, which we call sperm. Females produce very few large, energy-rich gametes, which we call ova or eggs, right? And so on a per capita basis, on a per gamete basis, the female investment in a gamete is a lot larger than that of a male. So females have been selected to be very choosy, males to be very promiscuous. Not to say that there aren't reasons why females might be adulterous as well. From a female's perspective, females may choose to mate with a partner other than their pair-bonded mate for a variety of reasons. One would be to gain access to additional resources. Another might be, to obtain good genes as such from males that are more fit than their pair-bonded mates. So adultery is favored in that sense. There may be a much simpler explanation, perhaps just to ensure fertilization of eggs. Perhaps their pair-bonded partner is infertile. So there are all sorts of reasons. And of course, in a more ultimate sense as well, females who are committing adultery may be looking to trade up, in effect, to sample other partners and move into yet another pair-bonded relationship down the road. So what we used was a website called ashleymadison.com. This website essentially is one where people who are already in pair-bonded relationships, read marital relationships, can advertise for supernumerary sexual partners. Now, it's not all married people on the website. In fact, it's fortuitous for us that occasionally singles advertise there as well. And part of the data we collected in terms of the people advertising on the site was whether they were in an existing pair bond or whether they were single. And this then allowed us to contrast some of the preferences of those who are pair bonded versus single in terms of, the types of adjectives they use to describe potential mates, which gives us some insight into the sort of characteristics they're seeking in these additional mateships. We thought, at the outset that individuals who are already married and, had their resource needs met might show much more, liberal attitudes towards mating than those who are single. Going away from those stereotypical conventions of females seeking resources, males seeking young, attractive females. And the fact of the matter is, those stereotypes hold true. The interesting departure from that, though, is that in contrasting females who are single to females who are in marital relationships, we see changes in the way they use adjectives to describe potential male partners. Females who are married actually increase the number of adjectives they use to describe the physical attributes of males thereafter, and actually decrease the number of adjectives they use to describe the material wealth of potential male mates. So these females then that are already married are showing a shift in the way they advertise for males. Single females advertise for resource-rich males. It makes sense in terms of finding a long-term, mating partner, right? One who can satisfy your resource needs. Those that are already in marital relationships, though, reduce that demand for material wealth on the part of males and increase the demand for physical good looks. And of course, male characteristics, good looks, things like, square chins, prominent brows, perfect bilateral symmetry, all traits I don't have myself. Those are traits that females are really demanding of for short-term mateships, because those traits indicate the male's underlying genetic stability and genetic quality. So these females then are increasing their tendency to go for those traits that, suggests, of course, that these females are looking for male sex partners to provide good genes for the production of progeny.